Yo, it's 2021, y'all. Him and Pete, we got a new show.
If you ain't got no money, take your broke dick home. Poodle.
If you ain't got no money, wait. Pass.
BLING Empire OMG Netflix, we coming for you. Natty, Poodle,
And special guests, too.
it's Bling Empire on reality game.
I'm drinking Tito's the rest of my days.
Eating Doritos.
This show's the closest we'll get to the glamorous.
All the box that box
Oh, the glamorous. Oh, the glamorous, glamorous. Oh, the glamorous. Oh, the glamorous. Oh, say, oh, the glamorous. Who are these people?
Poodle. Boy, I'm so glad you asked. Oh, there's Dr. Gabe and his wife, Christine. Jamie is the fashion queen. Kevin's got that banging bod, and Kimberly is a DJ god.
Kane's got Benjis by the tons. Anna's dad sells bombs and guns. Ain't none of these kids gotta worry about bills, and they're all in Beverly Hills. Oh, the glamorous. Yo, the flowers. Y'all, we are here with Fumi and Mike from Asian Not Asian.
We're having a guest. And they're two cute guys, and they're straight.
Yeah.
That's rare for us, y'all. Mike,
I'm
Fumi, that's
nervous.
rare.
I'm
I know.
nervous.
What do I
because
say to cute straight guys?
I haven't been around straight men in so long.
What does that mean? I feel like most dudes are straight. Are you not? Are you?
It's
operating
just
in
my
a gay
circle, honey. It's just my. It's either women or gay guys.
And
And
well,
I'll-
especially coronavirus, it's just
I haven't-
you and I.
maybe the handyman in my building. That might be the closest thing. But I don't know his life. Who knows? Tell us about your podcast. Tell us about Asian.
Thank you all for. We're going to talk about Blind Empire, but tell us about Asian, not Asian.
Yeah, for sure. So our little log line is it's two Asian guys, not from Asia, talking about American issues no American cares about. And we
it.
sort of, we kind of started the podcast because, to your point, hey, in 2020, 2021, a lot of people don't care what straight guys have to say, but I think people care less about what straight Asian guys have to say in general.
Yeah, I mean,
that's kind of where they came from.
Even now, if for the listeners out there, the feeling you're getting right now is who cares? That's the feeling you're getting, and that's because we're two straight Asian guys. And I don't blame you. I don't blame you. But I think maybe in this particular case, you might want to listen just for a second. We're probably wrong, but you can listen to us for a second because it was an interesting show. But yeah, we talk about that. We're both comedians, based out of New York, and we're writers and all that stuff. And we talk about like a lot of stuff that I think, if anything, the very fact that they have this reality show shows that people are becoming more aware of Asian people as I don't even know what you want to call it, like not just what you imagine from the 70s and
Assholes.
80s. And yeah, I think people are like, inside the community, we call it the Asian wave. Now that I say that, I actually don't think that's a good word because there's too many waves right now. But I think that's something, Crazy Rich Asians kind of kicked it off, and and now here we are. So we've been kind of riding that wave, and we have this podcast where we talk about shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how long have y'all? Because what I really enjoy about because every time we do a collab, I want to listen to somebody's show. I subscribe to your show, bitches, because I love your friendship. I feel like it almost reminded me very much. You kind of have what people say about Jake and I, like. How long have you guys known each other? Because y'all just seem like the rapport is. So how long have y'all known each other?
It feels like such a long time. I guess we met in 2014 when we both started. And this is in 2014. Hey, these are crazy times. This is before Crazy Rich Asians. Okay, Asian people were not allowed to do entertainment.
Yeah.
So there was only one spot on every show for one Asian comedian.
One Asian only.
One Asian only
per show.
It was only spoken of in like dark rooms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we met each other in the scene just doing shows, but in the beginning we didn't really talk to each other because we wanted to murder each other because there's only one spot. And then
you have to kill one another. Yeah,
exactly. That's how you get a spot, But then after a while, and by a while I mean like 1 year, after 1 year, I was like, hey, this guy's kind of funny. So we started like writing together. So I guess since 2014. So we've known each other, been working together for about 6 years or so. But the podcast started about 3 years ago.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's the way two gay guys who are both bottoms feel in a club. Like I will
murder you.
We will destroy one another.
Murder each other with their
total
bottomness?
Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
Because there's a magic dick out there, and one of us is going to
And one of us has to find the magic dick.
We're going to try.
Yeah.
There needs to be some Wikipedia article I can read about this, because this is amazing. This is
Bottom
cool.
culture?
Yeah, bottom culture.
Bottom culture. Yeah,
is there like a Lord of the Rings-esque kind of source book I can read? For this
totally.
Kind of
one cock ring to rule them all.
Man,
I think I do want to say I looked on you guys' Patreon, and you do call it. You call people like anals and curious anals
so
for their listeners.
Yeah.
So
Asian, not Asian listeners, and that's something a fan. Yes, a fan came up with that. Although we really ran with it, and it's a nice recurring theme. So we do talk. We whenever we say anals, 50-50 chance we're talking about our friends, or 50-50 chance we're not talking about our fans.
Mm-hmm,
so
I love it.
It's a recurring theme.
Yeah, it is weird because we started using that word like maybe, I don't know, episode 60 and onwards. So sometimes people are new to the podcast, and if they tell me that they're a fan, I'll be like, oh, are you an anal? And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What the fuck?
Like, get away from me.
What the fuck is that?
Well, where did you get the idea? I think it's so, I guess, I don't know. Is it a thing just for you guys, or is it a thing in like Asian culture that you take your listeners' last names and guess their ethnicity? As a white American, that is something I've never
my mind
ever. And when you did it, my mind just went, "Oh fuck!" I never. So like, where did that idea come from?
I think. Well, here's the thing. I think there's two things. I think one, I think as an Asian person in this country, you're always asked like, "Where are you from?" So that's kind of play on that. But also, I don't know if Mike does this, but I always, if I meet somebody and they say, "Hey, my name is Sham Vo," I always immediately. In my head, I go, "Oh, Vietnamese."
Yeah.
Like I think other Asian people always try to guess what sort of nationality you are, or what nationality your parents are. So it's just a thing that we do automatically that we kind of turn into a game. But a lot of our fans are mixed race, and then it gets very tricky. But we have gotten very good at deciphering what your composition is based on your first name as well.
Ideally, if we could really do this, they would send us a picture, and we would guess by looking at them. And that would be better. And
not problematic at all.
Not problematic at all. Please send us your DNA, and we will examine. So I think, to Fumi's point, Asian people we're very, because we're so concerned with representation. Even in our own lives, we want to know what kind of Asian are other Asian people. So like I live in New York City. There's not a lot of Vietnamese people in New York City compared to, say, California, where I'm from. So whenever I find out there's a Vietnamese person, whenever there's a Vietnamese straight dude, I'm like, oh my God, I got to get this dude's number, man. I got to become friends with this guy. There's so few people. And I don't know if Fumi feels the same way. I feel Fumi, if there is a Japanese person, you kind of treat them a different way. You have to kind of know, okay, is this guy someone I'm going to need to like relate to on a certain level? Will he relate to certain things I say?
Yeah, I think it's like, Mike and I relate on that in that way that like there aren't a lot of Japanese people in New York as well. I mean, there's, it's predominantly Chinese and Korean. So whenever we do meet like somebody with a last name that we can identify as Japanese or Vietnamese, we get a little excited, it's kind of like, something, you mentioned, you're talking about the bottom culture earlier. Sometimes it's, and if you were living in a state where there weren't any bottoms and you saw another bottom, it might be nice to be like, hey, good to see another bottom. Let's talk about being,
hey, I haven't met any bottoms around here. What do you, you know any good bottom restaurants? Yeah.
Bottom restaurant. You know what?
There would be a lot of fiber.
There would be no food served at all. Because you don't eat before you do something like that. You just move stuff around on your plate and act like you're having a good time. I will say, we're both from the South. And it is a similar thing, especially out here. If I meet someone, I'm from South Carolina, he's from Oklahoma. And if we meet someone who is from our area, we're like, where are you from? love.
Yeah.
It immediately is like, I need to be best friends with you. It's our tribalism, you know.
Well, mainly too, if I meet someone from the South that lives in California, I'm like, oh, they're not a racist, homophobic Southerner because they moved out.
Mm,
You know what I
true.
mean? Because like they hate California out there. So if they live out here, they're like, oh, it's somebody I can get along with. So anyway, the way we find our people, it's just such a fascinating.
Yeah, you guys should do that on your show. You should guess if your fans are tops or bottoms.
Oh shit!
you know, that is a great idea. We just put a picture of them, and that is not a bad idea. Strangely enough,
Are there also like
enough
mixed people?
mixed? Well, you can be versatile.
Okay,
Versatile. You can be versatile, but we actually have. I mean, we do have gay male fans, but I would say the majority of our fans are women. Because who knows? But maybe it's the show. We do 90 Day Fiance, so it's very very women centric show. And like we've spent our whole lives being friends with women.
But it's also cool that doing 90 Day Fiance, we
have straight guys too.
Like I think like we used to do, we still do it, but we do Southern Charm on Bravo. Like that's a littler show, but like a lot of our listeners are a lot of white women we've noticed. Whereas 90 Day Fiance is such a big show, and there's people that have been 90 Day Fiancés or do. So it's like we call our listeners sissies. We have sissies kind of all over the world that have gotten into this show either because they're like, oh, my cousin was a 90 Day Fiance and did that. And it's from like the Philippines, and my other cousin's like from, it's from like Tunisia. It's just crazy.
We're shocked at how diverse it is. And like we just did a thing over Christmas break where we just on our Facebook group, the Sissy Squad, we just had people say, where are you listening from, or where are you from? And we had all 50 states in the Facebook group. And then we had like about, I want to say 20 countries. It was shocking, and it it's the power of the show, and we have a really good time, and we hope that translates. But our listeners are the best listeners in the world.
Well, and also Jake was like, these are people I can stay with, so I can go fuck guys.
Yeah, when COVID's over, and I just make my like tour of the world, and I just go fucking everything I can.
Anyway,
guys, we brought you here to talk about the hot, glittery garbage that is Bling Empire on Netflix.
Thank you.
In one word, can you give us your impressions?
One word. You want to go first with me? You want to go first?
I feel like it's just very chaotic, Yeah. It's like there's absolutely no order, and I know that you had us on because initially your pitch was like, "Hey, I want to talk about representation within the Asian community for in reality shows." Yeah. And it's so chaotic that like 20 minutes in, like you forget that they're Asian because nothing they're doing. Like I don't know anybody who speaks like that. I don't know anybody who has that kind of money. Like it's not whatever this kind of Asian is. I don't know what it is. So it's just it's so.
Thank
chaotic.
you for saying that. You're not alone in saying that. But yeah,
that's good. Yeah, I would say I'm going to say the word, and then it might sound like I'm contradicting Fumi, but it's not. I would say dragony, because I would say that dragons in Asian culture, and we'll talk about what I mean. I have air quotes going around the word Asian, is both authentic and wildly inauthentic.
Because that's great.
It's like, yeah, it's important, but it's not like I'm wearing only dragon stuff all the time. And I feel that there's a lot of going on in the show, and I can't tell. I have to confess, I'm not a reality TV person, so I have a hard time figuring out how much is produced and how much isn't produced. But it's a clear choice, I feel, in the show that they will push certain things as being, oh, don't worry, this is an Asian thing. And I'm like, that is not an Asian thing. What the fuck are you talking about? Okay, my parents do not have private airplanes. We don't have that in Hanoi. Okay, like that is like not a thing. So they're like, oh yeah, it's totally Asian, and she, it's like, whatever, going to Cartier and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's strange how much they kind of talk about that narrative,
yes,
as a thing, and it's funny. and it's chaotic.
Yeah, I could tell. I mean, I know the producers are not Asian because I looked it up, but also to Mike's point, like they do in the beginning. The first thing I noticed, I don't know if Mike noticed this too, but like because I think they're trying to be careful with the word Asian because it's such a big word and it's a big continent. They have almost somebody like a representative from each country, you know, like she's.
a Benetton
I mean, here's a
ad.
but it's
Well,
wild.
yeah.
Here's a lady. She's like, oh, this is Anna, and she's half Japanese, half Russian. But honestly, she looks Peruvian. Like, there's nothing Asian about this lady.
She looks like a lion, dude. Okay, she's a lion American. Like,
She's a lion Peruvian
she's a
American.
lion Peruvian dragon.
And
American.
she was like speaking Spanish, and I'm like, the producers are like really stretching this, you know?
Very true. I mean, you know, this is like, you know, they will throw that out there sometimes. And I was reading some articles, and they'll say, oh, it's like they'll throw some Asian traditionalism in there. And again, I don't know what is Asian traditional about like owning a Bentley or whatever the fuck it is. But like, you know, but like a lot of them are, not, you know, not Asian. I don't mean that like they're white or something, but I do mean that like they're not Asians. I don't exactly know if a lot of them are Asians from Asia or if they, you know, because like if you wanted to, I feel they were trying to grab this whole like crazy rich Asians thing, of which there are such a thing as Chinese billionaires and Malaysian and Singaporean billionaires, and they're in another country. They're not in West Hollywood necessarily. They're not in Beverly Hills necessarily. And a lot of the characters, I mean, like Kevin is adopted. He's Korean. He's from Philly. The dude's from Philly. That's like almost like not Asian as possible, you know? Like,
I mean, well, do you feel like he says, and I know you're in New York and not Philly, but I've been to Philly.
It's a very, very diverse city.
So I'm like, where from Philly are you that you're not seeing any
He's
Asian
from a
people?
suburb.
When I was there,
Yeah, he must be from the suburbs because we have another friend who's adopted Korean. He's from Philly, but I mean, I think, Mike is right. I think he might be the only Asian American person,
Normal,
or like an Asian person who grew up in America on the show. But yeah, I definitely relate with that guy because he's like the only, you know, he's like your average. I mean, he's not. They try to make him out to be like the average guy, even though he's a fucking model.
but
like,
he's gorgeous.
Yeah,
Oh my
but
God.
he's like your regular straight Asian guy, just like can't dress himself, you know.
It's really
constantly doing
interesting.
ab workouts.
Yeah, it's really interesting. You guys said these are no Asian people that I've seen, because we had a guest, Melanie Maras, basically said the same thing to us. She's like, this is not a show about Asians. This is just a show about wealth.
Yeah.
And they just happen to be Asian. And I think that's exactly what you guys are saying. It's like they might as well have just like hit a gong with every scene change. And I'm stealing Dragony, by the way.
I mean, you could say that.
I can't say it. You're right.
No, you
But
can.
that's another reason. Like our own friends, when we watch the show, our own friends, like Jake and I watch the show, we're like, I don't feel like we don't know any Asian people that would relate
like
to this.
this.
But that's why we wanted to include other podcasts, because like we're two white gay guys. So
That
it just
would be
I think it is
amazing.
about wealth.
Yeah, I mean, it would be amazing though if Fumi and I got on this podcast. We're like, oh my God, this is just like our lives, right?
Yeah, I'm in a helicopter over Hawaii.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, I'm always going to Paris. You know, my dad's always selling weapons to the Iranians. You know, like, I mean, I think like, you know, I mean, when Crazy Rich Asians came out, I think there was a lot of discourse, and for a long time there was a lot of discourse with like Asian Americans, whatever you want to call us, the larger sort of Asian American community, that you know, is this really representative of us? And I think for the consensus eventually came out was like, hey, you know what? It's a fun movie. It's okay if it's not like, because like most of the movie doesn't even take place in America, and that's okay because it was just fun, and we just like to see people who look like us. We're that desperate for representation. It was like, does that guy have black hair? Fantastic. Let's keep going, and that's okay. But now there's kind of like a weird narrative, and this like connects with, you know, a larger model minority thing about like Asian people who come to America or largely in the world. A lot of them are doing very well, and you saw something like this in Japan in the 80s about like, you know, Japanese people, they own everything, and now it's kind of like, you know, China is ascendant, and so there's a narrative that like, oh, all these people are wealthy and all these things. And most of us, hey man, we're all trash, man. You know, we're all just like trying to make a buck. You know, that's all
trash just like us.
You're trash just like you. Anyway, I want your listeners to know that. Okay, Fumi, join me in saying
yes, we are
Asian
trash.
straight guys are trash.
Well, here's the thing. Like, it's okay. So I'm gonna have to take back a little bit of what I said because sure, it's not like I don't necessarily. You're right. I think you're right. This is a show about wealth, not necessarily about Asian people. But there were two things that happened in episode 6, which I think is what we're talking about, right? That were very like we're kind of realistic. That's
segue, Fumi. We have gay DD, so thank you.
That's great. I want that. That sounds tight. I was thinking about there's two things. One, the way Kevin talks to the ladies. I've like seen Asian bros talk like that in life, like fraternity bros. And it's very cringy, but I know it's real. So there's one, and then when he got turned down, I was like, "That's relatable." I've gotten turned down. That's relatable. And then he got turned down, and then he felt weird, and he just like went skinny dipping. And I feel like in a weird way that was a very straight Asian guy move because like he didn't even know he didn't know where to go. He didn't know what to do, and he had to make some sort of noise, and he just showed his dick to everybody.
I rewound that part a lot. I
Did
rewound
that.
that.
He did a great cute part. I will give you that.
Which didn't y'all? I haven't listened to it yet, but I was looking on your episodes. Didn't you have an episode about somebody saying they don't fuck Asian guys or some shit like?
Oh yeah,
didn't you?
that was the most. Well, like.
Well, it wasn't like she didn't say Asian specifically. Well, maybe she did, but well, I mean, but you know, there's been a lot of people who say that to Asian people in the past. I was just surprised to hear it again in 2020.
Yeah, I mean,
yes, that episode's called "I'm Not Racist, but My Vagina Is."
Yes,
we have. There's a thing in the gay hookup community for gay hookup apps for Grindr and things that says it'll say no fats, no femmes, no Asians.
Right.
And that will be, and that's mostly a white gay thing. And you will see that still. And this is 2020.
Wow.
I'm 2 of those.
He's
I think that Fumi is right. Like, I mean, I personally think that Kevin's character is very interesting. I mean, maybe because he's a straight Asian dude, but like, you know, he's adopted. He is emblematic of a lot of Asian American men where we're a lot of us overcompensate for the Asian guys are all feminine and stuff like that. So we're like always working out. And, you know, I've met Kevin before and he's like very into his body, which, hey, good job. It shows. But it's something that I saw growing up a lot, you know, when I was in college and in high school, like, you know, Asian dudes like working out and that's like a direct reaction to the way that we're usually portrayed. And so I think that Kevin is very like specific, you know, he's very specific to the Asian American experience and the fact that he's trying to find out who he is and all that stuff. Along with him. Yeah.
He's the audience's way in. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, you know, and I think, you know, he's very body centric and I get it. I'm doing push-ups all the time because of that, you know? So
yeah. And I guess the second thing that I thought was relatable was all that ghost talk, babies, all that reincarnation shit. I was like, this I can get down with because I've had conversations like that with my grandmother, you know?
You know what? It's funny. I mean, when I can't remember, is it she thought that her baby was the grandma or you know? My friend also from LA, also doing pretty well, is also very much into kind of like this esoteric thing. I don't want to say he's not necessarily Buddhist, but he's very spiritual. And he's you know, he's like a lawyer. He's like an intellectual person, but he's like very into that. And even if you're, even my family, we're Catholic. We're not supposed to do those things. Catholic Church is like, don't do that. But we're still lighting that incense, baby. We're like, you know, putting shit out. You know, we're just like, just a little bit of a little side ghost, you know, along with Jesus.
Side ghost.
A little bit of side spirits.
I remember
maybe it's an apostle, maybe it's a saint.
I can feel grandma's spirit tonight, y'all.
Yeah. I mean, that's like a real thing that I feel like a lot of older Asian people will, you know, think about. Like I remember going to my aunt's funeral and like everybody in my family is like, oh, the spirit is in the dog tonight. And it was like a golden retriever. And everybody was like going crazy over this dog. Her name was JoJo because she was from America. And, you know, I was in the middle school and I was like, I guess like this is you know, like I knew that none of my friends were having conversations like this at their funerals, you know, but here we are like fucking worshiping this fucking dog like it's Simba, like because apparently my aunt's inside the fucking dog now. But But and I think a lot of people watched that part and probably thought, oh, this is like some crazy made up shit. But like that, to me, that was the realest part of the episode.
Is your family superstitious? Because they've talked about on the episode in a previous episode about, they mainly were talking about Chinese culture, but again, kind of something they do on the show that Eric's, they promote it as like Asian, like this is applicable to all. And I'm like, but they do talk about Chinese people being very superstitious.
Yeah.
Are either of your family superstitious or just the ghost thing?
Well, I mean, I feel. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Fumi.
No, it's okay.
I feel that there's that's why I say dragony, because it's like it's very Chinese and so much red. There's like like gold everywhere. Everything's red. Everything's so red. And there is superstition. There's a lot of stuff. Again, going back to my family, a lot of Vietnamese people are Buddhist. But there's a bunch of us that are Catholic, and we kind of kind of pick and choose a couple of different things. Like we don't really call it ancestor worship, but we have
that's Chinese,
we have a day of remembrance, which we kind of like. It's a ceremony that we're not worshiping our ancestors, but it's like a heightened remembrance of this person with some religious overtones to it. So I definitely think we're and like believing in ghosts is like totally true. We have a very good friend, who's a stand-up comedian. He's got a great bit about like Asian people were so into ghosts. That's our like way of explaining everything. And I think it's totally true. So it's like if you can't explain something, ghosts. I got it. Cool.
Well, she even said it's gonna be weird if I'm like still breastfeeding you and it's my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, but for sure. I mean, I think my family, like, we're Japanese, but we're very, very superstitious. I think a lot of East Asian countries are, but yeah, to a point where, like just ghosts are just like part of your life. Like when you meet somebody new, you say, "Hey, what's your name? Like, what's your sign?" Then we ask what your blood type is. And then you ask if you have the sixth sense. That's like a pretty normal conversation to have in Japan. Yeah, it's like we call it reikang, which means like ability to feel ghosts or spirits. But like, and it's like a binary thing. People are like, sometimes if somebody's feeling sick or has a headache or whatever, it might happen that this person might be like, "Oh, sorry, the ghosts are being loud" or something.
It's like Japanese people are like a bunch of like Brooklyn white girls or something, Dude,
we're super into it, man. You know what? That's interesting.
Hey, where are you from? And also, do you have the third eye?
Williamsburg is in the house. Wait, I gotta stop you there a little bit. Back up. Blood type? You asked blood type? I like that you just skipped over that. Like blah 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 blah. Blood type. Blah blah blah.
That have to do with anything.
That's a huge thing in Japan, at least. I think also in Korean culture, but like it's like our zodiac sign, like we like label people using blood types and their personality traits.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm gonna check that out. Was there like, what did you guys think about the hypnosis scene and how he was like, don't know if I really believe in this, but I'm gonna try it, even though I had a complete fucking shaman on last episode who was doing things from like the OA.
Y'all didn't see that guy, but that guy was like going, and I'm witchy in LA, and so is Poodle, and we believe in this shit. But even like at one point, the shaman on the beach says, "Let me download your files to my mother box." So anyway, that seemed. Yeah, what y'all think about the hypnosis thing?
I completely forgot how much spiritual themes were in this episode because that was crazy. But do you remember who was that like white spiritual guy who came over?
Oh, the medium.
The medium guy,
Tyler Henry.
Okay,
yes.
That guy. First of all, he dresses like a harmless IT guy, but if you look at his notebook, it's like some psychopath, like if he dropped that notebook on a subway, like the FBI would find him and like arrest him. He's like, I'm just gonna be drawing. It's not a big deal. And they pan to his fucking notebook, and it's just like it's like some Jeffrey, not Epstein, the Dahmer.
He has a really popular show. He is the Hollywood medium.
Wow.
And he is famous in that way.
He looks like he works at Doobies. He just like seems like such a basic dude, you know?
Yeah, he
Like,
looks
this is crazy.
normal.
He's just like some guy I fucking met at Mickey's like right before closing.
Mickey's in the gay bar.
Some twink who just ridden up from Orange County with a backpack because he's going to stay with some rich guy tonight. That's full on. Still, the hair is still the same.
Yeah,
That is how you know if you're in the gay area of town or you're by a gay bar who doesn't live there. They'll have that like little string backpack on their back. You know,
Oh shit!
They're
they're traveling light because they're staying the night.
Now I won't be able to unsee that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. The medium thing, the hypnosis thing. I don't know how much Asian people are into hypnosis. I think that he is like, the whole thing about the adoption. That's just like such a bummer. Our friend that we know has like this heartbreaking story about being adopted, and this is the same thing. It's like untraceable. You can't go back and find this thing. Sometimes these kids are found in like a park. We had a friend. He was on the show, and they found him in the park. And the only note they had in his thing, the only note they had was he only said he could only say one word, which was mom, and that was the only word he knew. And it's like such a heartbreaking, crazy thing that he's going through this hypnosis thing, and he's like crying. And I don't think Kevin's that good of an actor, so I feel like he was really doing it. And like I was like, oh my God. So, that I don't ever blame anyone for trying to like make that connection, because, it's like you only know as much as you can remember, and that's it, which is crazy. Yeah. I mean, at that point, shit, get the Hollywood medium guy in there, like, why not?
Yeah.
At the same time, him a pillow or whatever. And then he'll be like, wah, and like drawing some crazy, like a upside down fucking zodiac sign and get some knowledge.
Yeah. And then he'll find out his mom's name is JoJo, and then holy fuck.
I had never thought about how crazy it was that Tyler Henry just scribbled on a paper because he's so non-threatening, but you're exactly right. With that creepy smile.
Freaky as shit.
It's really, really creepy. Yeah. And the Asian client didn't even bat an eye. She's like, yeah, he's just doing his thing. But yeah, you're right. Like, they pan on there's like a fucking pentagon and like fucking devil. I
thought maybe he was like gonna draw like what she was saying or something like a caricature. No, okay, I'm gonna draw you in a hot air balloon. No. I'm going to draw the son of Satan here, and I'm going to draw a river of blood. I hope that's cool. And then you're on a fight. Okay. Well, that'll be $800.
Here you go. This page is now a portal. Be careful.
I want to ask you. You probably saw it if you watched the pilot. Kelly and Andrew. Andrew, the obviously sociopathic
Power Ranger
boyfriend, who was the Power Ranger, who screamed at her over the phone. Now, what you guys didn't see is they broke up once, and now they're kind of back together, and he's still being creepy as fuck with her, as you saw. when he said to the dog, said, she's so obsessed with her ball, and he went, I'm your ball.
I remember that.
It's creepy.
Yeah. I think that's just the classic case of like, I call it hot guy-nitis, and he's just really hot, and he doesn't have any smooth lines, and he can kind of just get away with anything because he's like super, super handsome. Like that. Like if I said that to a girl, I would get me too'd. You know what I mean? And like I didn't even do it.
Would.
Like, like I'd get canceled for saying I'm the ball. So like, yeah, I think it's. But yeah, I remember. Now I'm recalling. She like lied to him about hooking up with him. I believe
she lied to all her friends, which is classic abusive relationship behavior. It's bad.
If you watch the whole thing, it's kind of creepy.
Yeah, well, and you guys watched the episode when she went when Anna flew her to Paris. Or maybe that was episode 2. Yeah.
I think that was episode 2.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Anna flew Kelly to Paris, and he like screamed at her for leaving him alone. And he's a dangerous guy.
It all blends together like a week-long Klonopin binge. You're just like, what the hell happened?
It was a very I don't know how old he is. I was going to do some research, but then I didn't. I stopped. And
it's too hard to Google.
I was like, hold on.
I realized I couldn't.
Yeah, he's not the Power Ranger I remember. So I was like, fuck this. I don't deal with third tier celebrities. So he just has like a very teenager everything is the biggest. How dare you leave me, Mom? You know, like
Yeah.
that. Like, dude, you know, you were sleeping and probably playing, you know, Animal Crossing and shit, and we just like decided to let you sleep. And then he just like takes it to like the 10th degree. So
Yeah.
is he Asian? He's not Asian, right?
No, he's Latin and Native American.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they don't talk about his Native American side very much.
At all.
No, he's more interested in kind of giving Blue Steel most of the time and looking sick on some of the other episodes, and to the point where he's like, "Is he on something?" Yeah, it's if you. I don't recommend watching the rest of the series because why would we do that to you? But he's super problematic. It's to the point where how is the production just gonna do this and not say anything?
Right.
Yeah, it's super irresponsible. And just like you said, the producers are except for Kelly. I think Kelly,
gay men.
Yeah, there's like 2 gay guys, and Kelly is one of the producers. Kelly in the cast.
She has produced stuff. We found out that she has produced stuff that's been made, which, as we know, is harder than it sounds. So when somebody actually makes up, you're like, "Wow, good job."
I was just gonna say, just wrapping up, guys. Anything else you were just like thinking about? Because we could talk all day, but anything else about what this show says, or what it doesn't say, or what we have to look forward to, or this is a stain?
I don't think it's a stain. I mean, I think the regular person watching this is not gonna like. Here's what I'll say. I know that there are very limited Asian, you know, entertainment out there, but if you watch Crazy Rich Asians and if you watch this, you might have the suspicion that perhaps all Asian guys have abs, and I'd like to just make that clear. That is not true. So, hey, you know, don't put that pressure on your Asian boyfriends. Okay, they're not gonna have abs, and it's fine.
Yeah. Also, most of us don't have private airlines, and we don't have, you know, a lot of gold, I guess. I mean, the one thing I kept seeing was like everybody would just wear the shirt that had the brand name on it, which I think is just.
What is that? What is that?
The whole time I was like, I didn't know Fendi made a shirt that said Fendi. I didn't know that Dior made a shirt that said Dior on it. I was like, I didn't know that was even possible. I thought these were classy brands. You know, like this looks like something Costco would have made. You know, as a collab with Fendi. So, you know, you know, again, we're just basic ass dudes who are into basic ass things, like, you know, going to well, I don't know. Well, one other thing that's interesting to me, and I almost didn't realize this because I was being force fed all the gold and the red, was that they're in LA.
Yeah,
they're in LA. They don't go to Boba once. They don't go to Boba. They don't go to K-Town. They don't go to Roland Heights.
No, they don't. Or Monterey Park.
Monterey Park. You want to talk about? They don't go to Japantown. You want to talk about? You don't go to Little Saigon. You want to talk about Asian people? Like, you just drive down the 405 for about 20 minutes, and then you will see Asian people. And
exactly.
They are rich too, you know. So you know, and even the poor ones got Mercedes. That's how we roll. So you know, that's the funny thing is that, like, you know, it is dragony. You know, it is like not a, you know,
perfect word for it.
Yeah,
it is.
Again, I don't think Jake and I can say it. I don't want
I hit a gong.
And then,
It's like when you know, I don't know if you guys ever watched like the OC or Laguna Beach or any of those things.
Oh, are you kidding? Yes.
You know, yeah, like it is. It's not even Orange County. It's not even Southern Orange County. It's one square block of Orange County and these 5 people. Yeah. And that's sort of the thing with this show. So like, you know, it's just I've totally forgot. I was like, someone get these guys a rice ball, you know, something, you know, like it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think we haven't seen them eat rice once. That's
rice. Where's the rice? Where's the fancy Zojirushis? That's a deep cut. You guys won't know what that is, but like, where's the fancy Zojirushis rice?
The rice cooker, man.
Rice cooker.
They did eat. They did have boba in one episode.
Oh, do they?
And
okay.
The rich guy Kane forgot his wallet. So Kevin had to pay for him. But when they ordered at the boba restaurant, they ordered all of this shit and they couldn't even eat it.
Oh my God.
And then they took it with them. But you're right. There's no Koreatown. There's only like Rodeo Drive. If they eat anywhere, it's really nice Asian restaurants in Beverly Hills.
Right.
But
Asian person would go to. Come on.
Yeah. But you're exactly right. There's
It's about wealth. That's it.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that the only place to have Chinese food is like Alhambra, Madrid Park. That's where you have to go.
Amen.
Yeah. And
Amen, baby.
Yeah. Anyway, y'all, tell us where this has been unbelievable.
I love you. I'm such a fan of y'all. I just want you to have your own fucking television. I just think you're both so funny together. You have the best laughs.
I want to see Dragony on a shirt.
We'll have that dragony anals.
Dragony anals.
Put that on your merch store.
Tell us where you can find your podcast. Tell us where you can find your socials. Tell us what you guys got coming up.
Yeah. Just go to any podcast app or YouTube. Just type in Asian, not Asian. We're on there. We're the first thing that comes up. Even if you just want to type in Asian on the podcast app, we're the first podcast that comes up. Yeah, we're the first one. So check us out there. We also got an Instagram. It's at Asian, not Asian Pod. We put clips on there from every episode. And I'm also on Instagram and all the platforms at the Fumi Abe. That's TheFumiAbe.
And you can find me on Instagram at Nice Pants Bro.
Did not expect that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Y'all check out this podcast. These guys are hysterical. It's funny, relatable.
They're in the show notes. They're in the link. So click on the show notes, and we'll tag them on our Instagram. And yes, we'll. I'm sure that hopefully this won't be the last. And we can collaborate. I don't know. Who knows?
When we have Bling Empire season 2.
Oh God!
You guys should do House of Ho. Do you guys watch House of Ho?
Oh, we're that may be.
I haven't, but Jake has.
That may be. It's fantastic.
It's very different.
I like that one a lot better. I think
it's a much better show.
And you want to get into some real Vietnamese shit up in here, man? Oh my God, they're showing you all the shit. I didn't know
And that show goes deep. It's hard for us when shows are quote unquote good. It's hard for us to talk about them more.
Oh, right. So hold on. One thing before you go, okay? And I don't watch reality TV shows, but like, is this one of those? Is it like the world is upside down in reality shows where you're saying it's trash, it's good, and it's good, it's bad? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we talk about when things are trash, we can make fun of it.
Okay.
It's easier when shows are good, like House of Ho. House of Ho is fantastic. Because it's more docu, like you understand the subjects, you get interested in it. It's less just bad, because Bling Empire is bad.
But also, I think sometimes trash can be like some of the housewives shows.
Right.
We don't watch all of them, but like Salt Lake City, it's trash.
It's unbelievable trash. It's glittery trash.
So crazy. It's good. You want to watch this trash. Like candy.
Our favorite thing to do is we take a certain scene between two people and we just usually we literally become them and we just word by word do that and reenact it. Yeah. And we call it either like reality gaze theater or something like that. And we have someone who does that and it's so much fun because it's just so crazy that we're saying it. And we do better with the stuff that's just way out there because it's us just reacting to it and making fun of it. And that's what this show is. You guys, this has been unbelievable. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Love finding new podcaster friends. You, to our sissies, go out there, support them.
Check out Asian, not Asian.
And you guys, if you find a good top, let us know. We're always looking.
Oh, the glamorous, so the glamorous. Oh, the glossy. Yo, how can I get Kevin to fuck me? Anytime I want, I wanna beg for it day and night. Oh, wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah.
Gonna get it done, Kevin. Get in here. That's what Daddy likes.